Hello everyone, just in the corner of my book room right now, and I've just realised that this is something that I should film. I started doing it a while ago, but I can definitely film the rest of it. So, this is the fiction side of my book room. I'll close the window so that you can hear me better and the volume's good. It's the fiction side of my book room. It holds all the fiction books, funny, but also holds my poetry and like some folklore books, which I get is like kind of fiction, but kind of not, depending on who you are and what you look at it and what kind of folklore it is. But this is my section for this. And I started realising that I have a problem, that I don't read the books on my shelves, like most people here, right? We don't read the books on our shelves. There's a problem with like overconsumption within the world. So let's fix it, at least in this household. This isn't a book room tour because that'll be it'll be cozy, it'll be pretty. This is just how many books have I read? How many books have I not read? Where's my problem areas? And then, yeah, we'll go from there. So, I've kind of done it already. I'm going to show you what I've done. I haven't done my poetry section though, so let's do that. So yeah, I'm just down here now. I was up there, I'm now down here. These are my poetry books from here onwards. And those are like my folklore books. So I thought I'd just start flipping them over and seeing what we've got and seeing what we haven't got. Like what I've read and what I haven't read. And then I'll start counting this side of the room and we'll see how much we go. I'm a bit scared about this section because I know I read a lot more non-fiction, or at least I feel like I do, compared to how much non-fiction I have over there. So I don't think I've done very well, but this is the year. This is the year where we're going to turn it around, so I'm excited for that. Yeah. I just wanted to talk about this book, A Poem for Every Night of the Year. I read this. I feel like it wasn't every night of the year, but I read this as it is supposed to be. Like, you know, I might have done it monthly. So, like, every March poem I read in March and stuff. And I really, really loved doing that. But now I've got 2 books on the go that are, like, monthly reads. Like, I read 30 pages or so every month because they are, you know, like, specific about those time periods. You know what I mean. But this was really exciting because this is the first book that I did that with and realised that I fell in love with it. And I just really, really loved it because it felt really cute. And it was nice to do it with because I do enjoy poetry. Okay, so I've read not that many. I knew that there was going to be a problem, so let's just do it. Let's count like every shelf. So this is obviously like poetry and folklore, but my fiction books are just done by colour because I'm a vibe reader and I don't really care. Like, I do care about it when I'm reading it, but like I don't really care what kind of book it is. I just kind of look and see what I want to read and then read it. So that's how I've done it. So it doesn't really I'm not going to count how many fantasy books I have to romance and that kind of thing. But I just do like the whole fiction together and then all the poetry and then all the folklore and then the non-fiction I'll split, so I'll do it in there. But yeah, I'll put a time lapse on. I love a good time lapse, so we'll see where we get to. I've decided that there's some books that I don't really need and I probably won't read. So actually this has turned into unread read to unread unhaul read. Okay, so I've counted all the books on the shelf. I have 279 fiction and poetry and folklore is included in that. 279 books on this shelf. I have read 131. I have unread 148. So let's figure out that. I think it's like 50%, or must be. It's not going to be perfect, but it's about 47% read. And that's not too bad, but like that's half of it. So let's carry on. Hello everyone. Right. I haven't turned these books over. And I wanted to do that section quick because I didn't want this video to be like half an hour long or longer. So I'm going to just talk it through, turn things around. We'll start with over here because you're closest, I guess. So over here we have history books and then other stuff that doesn't fit on the shelf. So like some theatrical books, which should be over there but don't fit. So the entire history section, and then below these books are either to do with films or TV or whatever, or memoirs, but from specific like there's Jeanette McCurdy's memoir here, Bernardine Evaristo's book, Manifesto, which is her like memoir book. Despite her being an author, she's got other books over there, and then Hannah Gatsby, who's like writes one-woman shows and stuff, and then cookbooks, and then over there is just like my like board game pile, but we don't need to really look in that right now. So I'm going to start turning these over and seeing what we've got and what we've read, and then we'll go on from there. Just so you know that like I don't really turn around the books that are like piles, because they're in a pile for a reason, because it's hard to move. Lots of them are very, very big, so I'll keep them there. I've turned over the books that I've read. It's not that many, and I've also on-hauled one or two that I just don't really care for that much anymore. So let's do some counting. Okay, so my read, I need to take the lid off the pen. Right, my read books. I'm just going to count all the cookery books as read, because I'm not going to read page for page a cookery book. Like a recipe book, you know, that'd be weird. So, yeah. My unread. So, my read pile was 32, just so you know. My unread is not too bad. I have more read books than I do unread books, so we're winning with that. We're going to go over there and do that pile, and then we're going to go over there and do that pile. So yeah, see you around. Okay, so let me just get into the corner. These books are my nature books. All of these. That's awesome. These books are like the books, some of them are like style, fashion, either on your body or in your house. And then a tiny little section of books about books. So specifically non-fiction books about books or reading. And down here is my like leftist theory section. Books that are about social theory, either with queerness or with race or with class or with just diversity in general or feminism. That's my section here, and I'm very, very proud of this specific book place, these books, this selection, because I've worked hard on building it from just when I was younger till now. And it's really, really cool. My history books are kind of to do with social theory as well, so I guess that they are the same, but I like to put them separately. But also, I know that I haven't read that many. So, one of my goals this year, I'm doing like a lot of reading challenges, which I'm sure I'll go into in a different video, maybe in my like what I read in January video. But in 2026, I've made another like reading challenge that is on Storygraph. If you want to join in, like I'm not gonna like boast about it. It's just so I read these books, honestly. But it's all about leftist theory. It's my like leftist theory TBR book pile. So I've got 12. I'll finish 12 more of these than I already did at the start of the year. So that's good for me, you know. I wanted to look through. Oh my god, these books. I knew that was gonna happen. Because I haven't normally, like if they're like not a proper book to read, I guess like a coffee book, which I love. then I would count them as read if I've read enough of it to count, if that makes sense. But these books are like tiny little books that do matter about reading. So I thought I'm going to flip them over and then figure out how much I've actually read, because I don't know. And maybe that'll be a video in itself, like read how many short books can I read in a day, that kind of thing. And I've also got books underneath, like here, that I've read, but I don't really want on the top of my shelf, but don't also want to get rid of. So yeah, I look through them to count them. Okay, I've read 57 of these books. I have not read, do I want to get rid of any? No, okay, cool. I have not read 38 of them, which pretty good. Pretty proud of that. Now the last section. This is my beloved plays. These are all plays down here. These are, well, producing theatre books, acting books, Shakespeare, directing, and a little bit of witchcraft and spirituality. And then these are all of the Shakespeare books that Shakespeare ever wrote, but not the ones that he wrote, like co-collaborated with people. So I've already done the play section because they're a bit fiddly. So I'm going to count them for you, and then we'll see how many I can turn over in this section. And I think it's going to be pretty chill because I've been reading a lot of these over the last years of being, from 14, probably earlier than that, to now. So yeah, but my plays are down here. So out of my plays, I have read 81 of them and not read 38 of them. So I'm pretty chill about that. That's pretty good for me. Right, let's turn these over and see how many we've read. I just wanted to share that outside of plays, I have 23 Shakespeare books. Like, not including, like, the plays. Like, so just books about Shakespeare. And I've probably got, like, a few more on the history shelf as well. I'm happy with who I am. Hello. Wait. Hello, everyone. Should I turn this light on? Will it be better? Is it better? Yeah? I'll turn it on. Can I? No, it's fine. Right, okay. I have learnt these things. I've learnt that all in all, which I thought the number was going to be bigger because it really does, like, the whole room is full of books from where I'm concerned. But I have 683 books on my shelves, and that is pretty cool. So I'm really happy with that. I hope that number grows, but I hope it grows with me rather than making my TBR pile even more, and it's starting to stress me out like it's starting to do right now. But I've got good news because I have read 413 out of those books, and I have not read 270 of those books. So that's good numbers for me. I feel happy. I know that, like, 270 unread books is a lot, but I thought the percentages would be, like, wild, like, so different to each other. So I know where I'm supposed to, like, oh, I forgot to count the books that I'm currently reading. So scrap what I've just said because I have new numbers. Give me a second. 693. Okay. Right, I have new numbers because I forgot that I was currently reading some and I didn't put them on my list. So, I have 693 books. I have 693 books, which is really, really cool. I have read 418 of those books, and I have not read 275 of those books. So, let's do percentages. Okay, so with a bit of rounding up, I have not read 40% of my bookshelves. And that's not that, I don't see that as bad. I understand that the numbers are high and it'll take me a while to, like, read those books. But I'm just really happy because, like, that's cool. I feel like I've done something cool, and I feel like I've learned something cool as well. So yeah, just to reiterate and finish this video off, I have on my wonderful shelves, I own 693 books. I have read more books than I have not read. The reading pile consists of 418 books. The unread pile is 275, which means that I have 40% of my bookshelf to read. We'll see how much I read this year, and then we'll carry on. But 40% is not that bad. 275 books unread is quite a lot. So I just need to stay on my own track and see where I go. But thank you so much for coming along on the journey. I'm really happy that I've got a visual representation of what I've read and not read. So thanks for helping me with that. Or thanks for watching me do that. I hope you've really enjoyed the video. Have a great day. Bye. I just thought I'd let you know that I'm unhauling 9 books before I go.